Good afternoon, friends. I remember an old Hindi film songs today. बदल जाए अगर माली, चमन होता नहीं खाली, बहारें फिर भी आती हैं, बहारें फिर भी आएंगी. Even if the gardener changes, the garden does not stop to bloom. Spring will come and will continue coming. My friend, this analogy, this natural philosophy does not apply in the modern day functioning. One of my very dearest friends today tells me to talk on change management. You got to change with times. Only those who survive, who continuously change with time and adapt to the requirement. The dictionary definition of change management is the management of change and development within a business or any institution or organization. But what does that really mean? It means that organization that implement change management methods or the processes are more likely to successfully handle the growing plans. Your institution is constantly experiencing change. Life is dynamic, so as every moment. Whether caused by new technologies, technology implementations, process updates, compliance initiatives, reorganizations, or even customer service improvements, change is constant and a necessity for growth and ultimately profitability. Therefore, a consistent change management process will aid in minimizing the impact it has on your organization and staff. Whether you define your process as change management or use different nomenclature, every evolving organization understands the importance of consistently improving processes and managing changes that will yield lasting benefits. The only constant in life, my friends, is change. And true today than ever before in this modern world where technology and things are changing so fast. Because all institutions undergo change on a consistent basis of a formal set of change management process steps should start to become ubiquitous. In all cases, my friend, change is being explored to drive better results. This is why successfully strategic execution and change management are so closely interrelated. Both are aimed at the same target, and that is better results, greater profits. Now, take a second before your organization starts to undergo significant changes, or even before you took for a technology solution. It's critical to define your change management process steps. You can have your own method or process depending upon understanding of an institution and the employee or the people who are working for you or a specific environment. A firm understanding of change management principles will serve as a strong backbone for any change management plan you wish to implement. There are few basic change management process steps which I will discuss with you today. Identifying needs, alignment and preparing your team for change, implementation. Then finally, the first step is identifying precisely what you need to change. Identify opportunities of threats to your institution, and then evaluate if they are sizable enough to warrant a change in strategy. If action is needed, start building a plan for change using a structural goal setting methodology. Like SMART goals, these as they call it. SMART goals provide templates for what needs to be accomplished and by when. This is helpful when beginning to deploy a change management planning initiatives. And then comes your alignment. Align your team, your employee, your subordinate, your colleagues for that specific change what you have decided in a first step, what needs to be changed. The most important part of your institution or your business or work is your people who are working for you, working in that. Your people will be in change of implementing the changes you propose. The challenge is, if you force sudden changes on people, problem will inevitably arise. This is just human nature. It's easy to become comfortable when the status quo and perform routine, because we have always done it in this way only. The focal point of any leader tasked with change must be to align with team, with the vision. Communication is a crucial component in ensuring every team member is one of these is on the same board, on the same page. After all, purpose is a huge motivating factor for employees. Everyone wants to feel their contribution impact the success of the institution, overall success of the institution. Leaders must communicate with each employee that how important their role is in instituting this specific change. Once employees feel valued and understand the changes, adopting the change will be less challenging, my friends. Then it will be effectively implemented. After you identified your organizational needs to facilitate change management, it's time to implement. Execution and accountability are both strategic imperatives. To simplify implementation, approach implementation of change management in phases, breaking down change into smaller ones. More actionable components make this process simpler. A simple process makes it easier for employee to become trained experts in the new concepts. If you bite off more than you can chew, there is increased chances of failure. There's also, when it's time to implement whatever technological solution you have. Technology can make the tracking and reporting less time consuming and tedious, and trying to manage everything in a barrage of spreadness. It can automate the process of collecting and compiling status reports and make it easier to see what's on track of, what is on track, what is off track, and what is at risk. Finally, it can help hold people accountable for their results. The managing organization change will be much easier if you're able to follow these simple change management processes, the steps I've just discussed. If you identify the needed change, communicate with your team, I said it, and effectively implement your strategy. Too many great ideas never quite make it across the finish line, because there is no real way to keep everyone on course and keep everyone on track. Not possible. What does it take to actually guide these initiatives all the way through to finish line, to completion? You got to get everybody in view, so you can see what's happening with every initiative at every level, from the enterprise to the individual, in a real time. Get everyone engaged with an easy to use platform that connects your organization from the executive leadership and to the project teams, keeping everyone accountable and on board on the same page. Very essential, my friends. I will just sum up whatever I have said. That identify what will be improved, and simply it involves the the resources, the individual that will facilitate the process and lead the endeavor. Most change systems acknowledge that knowing what to involve creates a solid foundation for clarity, ease, and successful implementation. Always make sure that you present your change in a very convincing manner to all the employees and all the stakeholders. Plan for the change, and that involves outlining the project with clear steps, with measurable targets, incentives, measurements, and analysis. Provide resources. Use data for evaluation. As part of planning process, resource identification and funding are crucial elements. This includes infrastructure, resource identification, equipment, software systems, tool needed for re-education, retraining, and rethinking priorities and practices, data gathering, and analysis as an underutilized element. The clarity of clear reporting on progress allows far better communication process and timely distribution of incentives, and of course measuring successes and milestones. My friend, in change management, communication holds a very important step. Providing clear and open lines of communication throughout the process is a very critical element in change modalities. The method advocated transparency and two-way communication structures that provide advantages to vent frustration, applaud what is working, and seamlessly change what doesn't work. My friend, monitor and manage resistance, dependencies, and budgeting risks. Resistance is a very normal part of any change, but it can threaten the success of the entire project. Most resistance occur due to fear of unknown. It also occurs because there is a fair amount of risk associated with change. The risk of impacting dependencies. Anticipating and preparing for resistance, for arming leadership with tools to manage it will aid in the smooth change facilitates, my friend. Celebrate success. Recognizing milestones achievement is an essential part of any change management project. Ultimately, I tell all my friends who wish to follow this method I discussed of change management, review, revise, and continuously improve. Thank you very much.